Hey, welcome back. Happy Friday, everyone. It might be Saturday or Sunday whenever you watch this, but for me, it's Friday. The work week is over, and I'm planting. That's what I do every single weekend. So this weekend, we're going to actually focus on putting in some more flowers, some more pollinator attractors, things that will actually magnify the overall food forest, not just food for me. So we're also starting to sheet mulch this area here. This is where the old pear was that got girdled by rabbits, so that is now out. We've gone in and assessed everything that's in there. There's a little bit of daffodils, which I transplanted, strawberries, which I transplanted, a couple service berries, a hascap cutting. So those all have new homes, and now we're gonna sheet mulch this. It's only Bermuda grass and dog strangling vine now. So we're gonna reset that, and then we have been working on this peach tree guild here. So this is the peach tree that had cracked. You can see the crack and it's starting to heal here. So it's doing okay. I think the peach tree will be totally fine. We've been clearing out some sea buckthorn in this area here. So there was wild sea buckthorn that was in there. We cut that right down. All the roots will start to die back. It'll shoot up a bit, which we'll kind of harvest for biomass and biochar feedstock, but it'll die out, and then all this stuff that it put into the ground, all the roots, will all just be food for everything else. This is kind of what you should do with nitrogen fixers anyways, but it was a wild variety, so we wanted to pull it out and put other things in. So we started to put in some echinacea in there. I transplanted some of the cuttings. There's some cherry trees. We've got an elderberry cutting. There's some cherry trees. There's some phlox, some strawberries, comfrey, and then we've got echinacea in here now. So we're going to work on bringing some bees and butterflies into here, especially bees right where the peach is. And by the way, people are asking, people who live nearby, when are the peach trees popping? So they're starting to leaf out now. So this is when mine come. This is another area that I cleaned up. So we've got a currant bush here, we've got elderberry here, and then we've got a buckthorn there. I'm going to leave the buckthorn for now. I'm probably going to pull that out at the end of the season before it goes and puts berries on, and we'll get something better into the guild than that. And then we've got some hascaps here as well. This was basically just a carpet of creeping Charlie. So this area is one that I kind of haven't, but I've kind of been neglecting it a little bit because it's never usually in the shots. So what I did was put down some of my compost on top of leaf bags. So you can see the leaf bag in there. You can also use those to mulch with. I put some of that nice biochar compost down. See, there's part of the leaf bag. And then we just dumped a bunch of wood chips. Tried to save some of the strawberries and stuff that's here. Some of them are a little stressed out. And then we watered it in, kept the comfrey, added a nice log in there for some insect habitat, specifically beetles and worms and that kind of thing. And then we've got the hascaps there, and we put in some more echinacea all around it. So I did that all at lunch, and I didn't have time to take my camera out and film. I only have about 30 minutes or so, and then I have to get back inside for work. So I did all that at lunch, this nice little lunch break. So I wanted to show you, what we did, and now I'll show you doing it, and I'll show you what else we're planting out here. What other things are we adding into the food forest? This is the fun thing about a food forest is my food forest is about 7 years old now, and I'm always adding to it. I'm always kind of micromanaging, removing things that want to just naturally pop in. Usually those will be invasives. Take those out, put in things that are more beneficial for the environment. So where's the next thing going? Well, I want to look at the plant, I want to look at what kind of habitat it likes, and then I also want to look at how much space I have. You can see that I really don't have a lot of space left over, but I do have some more bare sections in other places of the food forest. So if I actually pop out around here, this whole side of the strip we added about 2 years ago, and we've been sowing lots of stuff in. This front half is taken over really well with some raspberries, cherries, and hascaps. We've got the odd peach and overstory tree in there as well, and then we've got ground cover of strawberries that are starting to creep in. But this is an area here where I can probably add a little bit more visible interest. So you always want to add in those insect attracting layers right on the edges of your food forest, so that you bring the pollinators in. You want to attract them into your land. Okay, other places I want to work on. We're at the top of the pond here, and right under this old apple tree we've got a little gill that I've been slowly chipping on, expanding. We've got fiddleheads in there, Egyptian walking onions, service berries, haskell's, elderberries, comfrey, all kind of in the drip edge here of this apple tree. We can add some more flowers in there, maybe get some lavender on the sunny side, the sunny dry side. Lavender's gonna like probably on that side, so kind of looking over there. But I was thinking of formalizing this walkway a little more, you know, arranging these, maybe putting some nice logs in here, getting a nice little garden bed, maybe pulling this chair out of there or having it right in the garden bed, I don't know, maybe. But then putting little flower paths on either side of this I think would be a nice idea. We planted the salal right in there, that's Gotherian Chalon. And then we've got a pawpaw over there, which we put wildflower mixes all around it. So we've got a water source right here next to it. So it's a good spot to kind of sneak in some wildflowers right at the top of here, I think. And then right here is a little bit of a guild that we set up. And you can see here we've got a lot of native flowers. I can't even remember what these ones are back here. It was part of a pollinator pack that I got from a nursery called Grow Wild in Omimi. And I think what we'll work on is adding in some of these blank spaces where we've got some grasses creeping in. We'll fill those with flowers so that the grasses can't compete. And then I think we'll also work on the edges of this pond here. We've got lots of native wildflowers in here, but I can always add more. I really want to add in plants that want to creep over the rocks and kind of hide that edge of the pond. The rocks are really beautiful, but I find it always really nice when the edge is kind of hidden. Just a little update here, right next to the wetland filter, we've got this little patch of fiddlehead ferns. These are ostrich ferns that I had put in, and look at how much they've spread. We've had a little patch there, and over the winter time they've put out little runners and they spread all through here. So this is a bit of a dry area. I'm really surprised they like that spot. I'll have to probably, you know, water these ones a little bit, but they've actually really established nice right through the creeping thyme there. And then on a similar note, right on the other side of this waterfall here, we'll go take a look over here. And I added in some fiddleheads here, and I just want to show you how amazing they've done. This is Egyptian walking onions and mint. Here's a little fiddlehead patch, and it's creeped all the way through over there into the thyme. And look at some of these Egyptian walking onions. Some bulbs have fallen off, and they've popped up right in the thyme there as well. But here's the fiddlehead patch down here. Look, I put in 2 fiddleheads there 2 years ago. I got these from my friend Chris Blick, who was part of that video running for council and trying to make a public food forest. And look at this, 2 or 3 fiddleheads, and they've just totally occupied this whole entire space. So it's a little late to eat. You want to get them before they've opened up, but I purposely haven't been eating these because I want them to spread. I want them to have full energy, and I want them to spread everywhere. Okay, so let's go plant some plants and add to our food forest. Okay, so first off, we've got these chrysanthemums. So you have to forgive me for the like purely ornamental flowers. I'm not really good with them. You know, I just started gardening from the food aspect. So these are them, garden mums. Trish really loved these, so we're gonna plant those because she loves them. And then I want to mix in purely ornamentals with actual good insects. So these are Coreopsis. These are fantastic for butterflies. You can actually even see that here. I think a beautiful flower as well, and they're actually about to pop, so we'll get these in right here. So we're also going to water these and inoculate them with some pond biology. We're gonna put these right in the corner, right where they're really visible. So here's the new area. We added in a couple lavenders also. I just thought that'd be a nice place for a lavender to be, right in between the coreopsis. Got nice flowering edges now. It's gonna look really, really, really nice. And then we also had a little bit of room for lavender right here. So we added those in, you know, and this is like what I'm talking about. Tiny little serviceberry added in here. Kind of wouldn't even know. We've got enough goldenrod here, so I think what I'll do is just chop and drop this. You know, even though it's a valuable plant, we have lots. And just make sure that this serviceberry has got the light that it needs, especially early in the season. And then it's got extra layer mulch there. Okay, so next we've got some Dianthus chinensis, which is not necessarily a native here, but it actually does attract bees and butterflies. So I usually only like to plant natives, but my wife liked this one, and this was contingent on me getting more lavender and coreopsis. So this is gonna go right here in the front edge of the pond where there's gonna get lots of sun. Right now we've got goldenrod in there. The goldenrod will grow up right up through this, no problem. So they'll all kind of play nicely in there together. It'll be right on the edge of the pond and will look fantastic. Even if it's not necessarily a native, I think it's still worth planting if it gets my wife engaged and loving the pond. So one nice thing about this little area here is that the pond liner comes up behind, let me see where my hand is, comes up behind this rock, and there's this fabric liner. The fabric liner supports and protects the rock. But the nice thing about the fabric liner is that it also will wick moisture from the pond up into the soil. So any plants planted on this edge that actually like moist soil will basically have perfect soil for them. Well, I got everything planted. The lavender and the Shasta daisies, I just quickly planted all through here. You can kind of see my spade down there. The mayflies are just brutal right now, so I just had to get it done. I didn't want to sit there filming it, and so anyway, I had to get that done. So we're all done. Here's the food forest. We'll hopefully do some updates down the road, and there'll be lots of flowers in here mixed in with all the wonderful fruit. So I'll see you on the next one. Keep planting every day.